Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a new product to feature for you today, but we're going to be doing a project on our golf cart. I hope you guys stick around for that one. It's going to be cool. We're going to be needing this welder. This here is the Bestarc 145. It's the Mig145, but it's a 3-in-1 welder. So it does the MIG welding, the stick welding, and the lift TIG welding. So it does all that, and it's full digital. It's gas or gasless, and it comes with some of the wire already for you. It comes with flux core wire and solid core, depending on what you want to do. Today, we're probably going to use the flux core because I don't want to pull the gas out of the shop. And then this also has a 60% duty cycle. So for us, like do-it-yourselfers from home and stuff, this would be great. I mean, this probably wouldn't be something for a pro welder, but it is really light at only 13.7 pounds, so easy to move around for all that it features and does. So that's pretty good. It is a 110-220 welder, so it does come with the adapter to help you hook all that stuff up. So we're going to show you what's in here. It's packaged pretty nice. It's a small box or a small package from when you see it. That's it. Look how small that is. I mean, it is light too. Considering all this does, it's pretty light. Now, I mean, we do. I think what's surprising on this when you look at it, right? You're looking at this little thing. You're just like, that's going to do welding. Because we have a bigger welder, a Miller, and we also have a Hobart, and they're way bigger and way heavier than this. So I'm curious to see how good this is going to do doing MIG compared to our other units. Man, I just can't believe how small that is. I mean, I really can't. Right here is the top where you put your wire. On top here, you can use either the flux core or the solid core wire. Here's your tension for your feed. It's pretty easy hookup. All the things go on the same the one spot they're going to go in. Your MIG torch is already connected. Let's see what comes in the box over here. And what's cool too, also, it'll give you some guidelines of what you're welding, what your lines or your wire speed should be, your voltage, stuff like that. So if you're new to doing this, it'll tell you what you need, or give you a guideline anyway. Here's your stick torch. Comes with that. Here's your grounding clamp with cable. It also comes with a carrying strap. I'm not 100% sure why you'd want to carry this around, but if you are doing, put it in a race car trailer or something, you're good with that. Here's your adapter so you can go from 220 to regular 110. It's good to have that. Here's your gas hose for if you're hooking up your argon. It does come with a little bag of consumables. You have the Teflon tape to seal your gas fittings, the little wrench, couple tips in there for you, and then you have the different wheel for different wire thicknesses, because this will do, I think it'll do 0.030, 0.035, and 0.040 for a flux core, and it does 0.30 for solid core wire. And like I said, what's cool about this one, it does include some wire to get you started. This is the flux core self-shielded wire here. That's why I said this one's pretty much out of the box ready for you to get going besides your safety gear. So if you're looking to get into welding, this is definitely something to look at. And this is your 0.30 solid core wire. So this is what you would use if you're using a shielding gas. But for us, we're going to be setting up this flux core wire. And that, like I said, that's going to go on here. It's going to feed through. And then once you power this on, you just press the trigger till it comes out the end. And this is fed through, ready to go. It should have the correct tip on there. We'll double check all that. But if not, the tips are in here with the wrenches for you, which is pretty awesome. Like I said, this is a 50 to 60 hertz machine. What's cool about this one, it has the automatic match your wire speed and voltage, but you can still adjust it, but it does have the technology where it'll kind of adjust the speed and the voltage based on what you're doing. So it might take a little bit of that figuring it out, especially for beginners or people learning to do it. This might be something nice for that. Like I said, it does come with I think the gas hose is 2 meters long. Yeah, 2 meters long. So it should be enough, especially if you have it on a cart or something like that. And with the adapter, allows you to go from that 220 to 110. So this has everything. You can see it all. It has everything you're going to need. Everything you're going to need to get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our wire in here and get it fed in. We'll show you how to do that, but let's get everything laid out and get it ready to go. All right, before we get that wire loaded in, let's give you guys a close-up of what all comes here, and then we'll give you a close-up look of the inside, and also like the little digital readout because it's got a digital display, which is nice, and that information I showed you. So we'll give you a little run around on this thing, show you what everything is. So get you guys set up over here. All right, as you can see, this is a small form fit machine. You got your little digital readout. We'll see that better when we plug it in. This is where all your connections are going to go. This is your adapter thing. You'll see how to use that in the book. Your ground clamp goes over there. This is where you can adjust everything on your display. Like I said, inside here, being small, you can see, I mean, it's got the layouts, kind of a guideline of if you were trying to do something, you know, what material you're using, and what speeds and voltage you might put up on this. This is your wire feed button where you can feed the wire as you're trying to feed it in. We're going to use that here in a little bit. This is your spool where this is where your wire is going to go on, like I mentioned. So you guys, I'm sure if you're looking to get into this for the first time, you did a lot of online research. This is probably a good starting machine for that since it's so compact and it does a variety of things. As you get better, you'll probably move up into a better machine, I'm thinking, but this might do all you need to do. So the color, I mean, we have a couple of them that color. It's different, but hey, as long as it works, right? So let's get this wire loaded up in here and then we'll get this thing tested out. You can see we have it plugged in and turned on. You can see your digital read. It doesn't flash like that. It's just the frame rates. And all your adjustments can be done here. You can see what you need to do in the book. You can hear the fan come on when you first turn it on. It takes a second. So when you flip the switch and it doesn't do nothing right away, just give it a few seconds. It fires up. So I just wanted you guys to see the display. We still got the plastic on the front, but we're getting ready to feed our wire in now. We'll show you how to do that. All right, guys, we got our spool on here. You just unscrew this, lay the spool on, get your wire started in the end here. And you'll see it come out the other end by the wheels. To lift that up, you just unscrew this a little bit, lift this up, and that will expose here so you can get your wire started in the groove. Remember, this comes with another wheel if you have different size wire, but we're set up for this flux core right now. Then you close this up, put this down and give it a little tension there so it feeds. You'll know when you press the feed button if it feeds. One note though, when you put your spool on, don't let go of it until you get this top part back on. Otherwise it'll unspool on you. It's a mess. So just get a little tension on it where it wants to stay, but it turns. Now we have all that in there. We put a little tension on this. We should be able to press the feed. And our wire is going to come out the end of our nozzle here. We'll see if we can get that in frame too. See, it's feeding through. All right, you can see we fed it until it came out at the end. It was feeding, it just didn't look like it, but we put our tension on. It fed out at the end. You're never going to want that much when you're welding, so we'll cut it back a little. Right to there. So this here is all set up. One thing we recommend, we'll show you that when we get doing some practice beads, is we're going to dip our tip in some tip dip just to keep the splatter off your tip. It doesn't give you another cap, so you want to protect that there. So that part's all set up. Next thing we got to do is set up our ground strap, which that's pretty easy to do. You're just going to take it out of the box. And then on the front, on the left-hand side, when you're facing the front, that's where your ground's going to go. I'm going to shut this off while I mess with that stuff. Your ground will go over here on this side, I believe. On this side here, you'll know it goes in and only turns a little. So now your ground is set up so when you get onto your work, you can ground your work. This ain't really a how-to weld video. This is more showing you the machine. I'm sure there's a lot better videos online to show you how to weld than what we could do, but we know enough to get by. So now our ground clamp is ready. We're just going to clamp that to like whatever work we're doing. We can clamp it to that. All right, to get this hooked up for flux core, what we want to do is you got this adapter. You're going to put it over onto this side. It's the negative side. And then your ground goes over here. So now you're set up for the flux core wire. You just want to make sure you have the right setting here for the right size wire. So we'll turn this back on. I guess we're going to peel this off for you guys. There we go. It's off pretty good. Now we just got to go through all the settings, and then you can see for here you're on MIG, TIG, or the stick welding type stuff. So we're on MIG, which is what we want. And then up here is we're on gasless already, so we're already set up for that. And our wire here says 0.30. We're not on 0.30. we're on the flux core, so we are on the 0.40, 0.04, or 0.040. So we are set up on there. We're set up on MIG. We're set there, and we're set on gasless. So we're pretty much ready to go. We can mess with our, you know, our speeds and stuff with that. Like you can mess with that here. You like your amps if you need. Depends on the. It'll tell you up here. If you got a thicker metal, you're gonna want different amperage and different speeds. So down here you can sell 16.5 and 50. That's for solid. For flux, you know, it depends what you're doing. How thick is your material, stuff like that. So you can reference the chart, but you're gonna have to, you know, play with it to know what you're doing to get what works best for you. But we got this set up. We're gonna get some metal set up out here and see if we can lay down some kind of a bead and see what we can get going. All right, we got an old piece of scrap angle iron here. We cut and ground down. I will show you that when I get there. But first, a few things you're gonna need for safety. Make sure you have these. You're definitely gonna want a welding helmet. So you can, for obvious purposes, you'll just fry your eyes if you don't. A nice pair of welding gloves, something you can move with pretty good. Right here, these work pretty good. This is that tip dip I was telling you about. You just press your tip into it. It helps protect your tip from all the splatter. Stainless brush. We just have this little one right here, but they do make the bigger ones, which are nice. Our other machine has that. Some kind of cutters. These are the ones we have near us. And then we have a chip and hammer if you get a lot of slag. You'll get more on the flux core than you will on solid core with the shielding gas, but if you need that, it's there. An apron if you want to protect your clothes. If you're not worried about them, put them on. I'm wearing shorts right now, so some splatter could hit your legs, but I'm kind of used to it a little bit. But the apron will protect your clothes. And if you want so, or if you are so inclined, you could also get the sleeves for your arms if you're getting splatter from there. I use these more when I'm doing torching and stuff because I do get a lot of times you get a lot of it spit back at you. So I'll probably use it for that. But for sure, I'm going to be using the apron, the gloves, and the helmet for right now. We'll get you over here closer to show you what we did on this angle iron. All right, as you guys can see over here, we have a piece of angle iron. It's an old bed frame, but it works great for projects. We just cut this in half, and then we ground down the coating to make a nice clean surface for us to weld with. So it's actually still pretty warm. So this is where we're gonna weld. You wanna make sure you have a nice clean surface when you do this. So that's what we got going. We'll get this as close as we can, and then we'll lay a bead on that. The settings on there, it's more so you're gonna have to turn the dial. You're gonna have to turn the dial to see where you want your feed and your voltage. You can see over here, we did do one already. It's not too bad. I mean, we've got a good bead, a good penetration, and on the back, I'll show you on the other one that we had good heat transfer. So the heat went all the way through. So we had enough voltage there. So we're going to do the same thing on this one. We're just going to run a bead along that, just see if we can get a good heat transfer on the other side and just lay down what we need. But this is looking pretty good. You'll see it a little dirtier when you're using flux core because you are using the flux. If you were using a shielding gas with solid core, that'd be a cleaner looking weld. But most of the time you're going to grind this stuff down smooth or brush it down. So let's just lay one down, see what this thing will do. First thing we want to do is put our grounding strap on. So we're going to put that on here. That way we're grounded when we start, because it won't work if you're not getting any spark. You didn't put your ground down. All right, we're just putting a little tip dip on our tip there. We want to go crazy, but we want to keep some on there. Keeps the splatter off. Now we got our grounding cable on. We're ready to go. Our helmet's on. We're going to see if we can lay a bead down on here. Here we go. That liquid you see is from our tip dip. It melts. You can tell by the color here, we have good heat transfer through that. Obviously you probably lay a bead on the back as well and up this back side. We'll probably mess with it a little bit more off camera. I'm gonna have my son play with it too a little bit so he can get some practice on it. But I mean, that's a pretty decent bead. I mean, if you can turn up your speeds to make it come out more wire if you want it thicker. But I like that. That looks pretty good. Same with that one. Looks pretty good. Or vice versa, you could turn it down if you want a slower speed if you weld a little slower. But that looks pretty good. All right, guys. Off camera, we spent a little more time with this, and I even had my son doing some beads or laying down some welds. It does decent. The thing I'm finding, since I'm used to other welders, is I like more fine tunability as far as adjusting my wire speed with my voltage and all that good stuff. I enjoy to have that ability to do that. But for somebody in the DIY or starting out, this is definitely the machine for you, including it gives you everything. You pretty much buy it, take it home, start welding. Stuff for the safety gear, of course, you're definitely going to want that stuff, like your helmet and apron, gloves, stuff like that. But overall, the machine itself comes with everything you're going to need. Just for somebody who's welded more, this machine it will, like I said, don't get me wrong, it does do what it's supposed to do, but somebody who's used to welding and likes to play around a little bit more with like our knobs and stuff, maybe not this one. But this one's more targeted to the DIY or somebody starting out. So this is a perfect machine for that. Like I said, so we can't complain about it. Does what it's supposed to do. Well, there you have it, guys. This is the Bestarc Mig145. It's a pretty nice 3-in-1 machine. It does a little bit of everything, especially for the beginner. I would say if you're more advanced, you're probably going to want a separate machine for each task. But it is nice that this does all those for us beginners that maybe not only welds on a weekend or a small project. This is perfect, lightweight, easy to deal with. I mean, if you go with the flux core wire, you don't even need the shielding gas, so you don't have to get a tank or nothing. I mean, you don't even need a cart for it. It's so tiny to move around. So I'm probably going to do other tests with this later on. I'll probably see if I can run it off an inverter or something on the road, off the back of the truck, trying to weld something. Or, you know, I'll try it in different scenarios. I'll probably try the other, like the stick and all that stuff, see if I can get those where I would like them, if it's good in those. If I do those, I'll leave a video for you guys so you guys can see those also. If you guys are interested in this, I will leave a link to it down below. If I can get a coupon code for you guys, I will. It'll be there if I can get it. Also, I'll leave a link to all the other safety equipment, other stuff you might need if you're starting out welding. I think for the money, I mean, for the price of this, and it does 3-in-1, it's probably the best one on. This is from Amazon. So it's the best one on Amazon for the money, for all that it does and all that it includes. I don't think you're going to be hard pressed to find a better deal than that. So with that being said, guys, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button so we can get our subscribers up. I know a lot of you watch, but you aren't subscribed. Please just hit the button. Also, all the links that we leave down below, most of them will probably be affiliate links. We appreciate the support on the channel. You just click it, do your normal shopping. Doesn't cost you anything extra, and we get a little kickback from them. We appreciate that. So with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Try something new.